Hello again, thanks for choosing us. Now, some civil society organizations are turning the heat on government for paying the architect of the National Cathedral project, Sir David Adjaye, close to 10% of the total sum. Adjaye and Associates have been paid 32 million cedis as consultancy fees, which represent about 10% of the total cost of the National Cathedral project. Speaking on Newsfile over the weekend, Vice President of Imani Africa, Bright Simmons, explained that the scale of fees for architects in Ghana and even in the UK is nowhere near the amounts that have been paid so far to Sir David Adjaye by government.
Quite surprised to learn that huge amounts of money is being given to Sir David Adjaye upfront, on top of the amount of money that he's charged. From the documents that we have now, about $22 million, which was nearly 10% of project cost. It's monstrous. Look at the median survey data. Remember that this is the data you are looking on the screen now is survey data. What that means is that the Royal Institute for Architecture in the United Kingdom, RIBA, goes around and asks architects and collects data on what fees they are charging. Sir David Adjaye's studio is primarily UK based. So I'm using RIBA data. That is the regulatory authority there. That is the professional association there. And they go around and find out what architects typically charge. What you realize is that as the scale of the project increases, the percentage reduces. Because it's natural. If I'm going to do a $10 billion project, I don't have to pay $1 billion to architect. Okay. That makes no sense. So that scaling dynamic means, therefore, that the average percentage for project costs that you typically find in the United Kingdom is about 3.5%. We have a situation where we're paying, and that's for design and build. We are paying not just design, to be very clear. We are paying almost 10% to Sir David Adjaye for this exercise that he's undertaking on behalf of the country. And nobody doubts his competence, nobody doubts his talent. But this is inflationary pricing, which we must talk about. If we were to bring it down to Ghana, we say, okay, well, he's based in the UK, but now he has a studio in Accra, he has a studio in London. What is the UK, the Ghanaian guidance when it comes to architectural fees? And here also, I find it shocking that we will be breaching the Ghana Institute of Architects fee structure, which is around 4%. So we're going to about 10%. What is it about Sir David Adjaye that means that we must pay so much when the project scale is such that typically we need to be complying with guidance? Because it's a big project, so he's making a lot of money. So that's a challenge. Architectural design fees should be about 1%.
Now, despite these criticisms, the Executive Secretary of the National Cathedral Secretariat, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, says no law was breached in the selection of David Adjaye and Associates for the project. He explains the caliber of the project makes it exceptional.
I think for me, what is lost in this is really this idea of then, you see, using that as the building block to then almost trivialize the role of this architect. I mean, I remember some of the discussions I've had on the National Cathedral project, like this museum. I mean, this is the leading museum. I remember when I went there. I mean, it's almost like, who is this guy? I mean, these are, I mean, billion-dollar projects, really. When I went there, when I mentioned the name of the architect, I mean, immediately they said, look, okay, Ghana is a serious country. I mean, because the same architect had built the National Museum of African American, he had designed it. The contractors who built that museum are the same contractors who built the Museum of the Bible. The National Cathedral is a national monument. It's a state monument. In fact, and I think that's part of, I was saying that I think one of the things the president did, and he's not gotten credit for, is to say that, look, for a national monument, I really want us to build it in partnership with those who might have, I mean, disproportionate use of this monument. So actually, it is a state monument. And he's saying, look, the church has always been an active participant in our transformation and development. Will the churches who will almost make more use of this help in developing this? Right. And I think the conversation then should be, for instance, what should be the state's role when it says seed money. What is the total cost, and what should be the state's contribution to that total cost?
My colleague Kweku Asante joins me via Zoom with some more details on this developing story. Kweku, what is first of all the approved fee structure according to the Ghana Institute of Architects?
So, Ernest, if you look at the Ghana Institute of Architects website, they have what they call the pre-contract services and the post-contract services. If you look at the pre-contract services, the highest you have there is about 7.0%. That is if the contract sum is in the region of about 50 million Ghana cedis. But the post-contract services is capped at 4%. If you add the total, it's around 10% and also 11%. But we know that the National Cathedral has been handed to Sir David Adjaye for 12.5%, according to that letter from the Office of the President seeking the approval of the Public Procurement Authority for single source procurement to be used to select Sir David Adjaye Associates, which is prompting this significant backlash from civil society organizations who are not happy about it. And we've been speaking also to the Ghana Architects Association, who have also been raising some significant concerns about why upfront payment was used in this process. We know that the presidency have already paid about 32 million Ghana cedis to Sir David Adjaye and Associates for the work to be done. Their explanation is that the payment ought to have been made in phases, as and when some part of the work is done, then you can execute payment. But it's a bit surprising that all these payments have been made to Sir David Adjaye and Associates upfront. So if you look at the GIA's schedule of fees, it seems as though the contract that was given to Sir David Adjaye breached this specific fee scale that is published by the Architect Association.
And Kweku, just before you go, the MP for Norton, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has fresh concerns. He alleges again that the architects for the project, that Sir David Adjaye, charge a separate fee to design the Bible Museum, which forms part of the entire project, the National Cathedral. What evidence does he provide to support this claim?
So as he uses some letters that were written from the Office of the President, as well as some letters, the press release of last week that the Secretariat themselves put out. First, if you look at the letter from the Office of the President to the Public Procurement Authority, advancing the argument for single source procurement to be used for Sir David Adjaye, it says that he will be constructing a 15,000 hall, national events, a grand central hall, a music school, and a house to house the first ever Bible museum and documentation center. And so this payment of the 32 million cedis that were paid to Sir David Adjaye was supposed to cover this, including the Bible museum. That is according to this letter from the Office of the President in 2018. If you look at the letter, the press statement that was published by the National Secretariat last week of the Cathedral, their concerns...
Well, we seem to have lost Kweku Asante there, essentially giving us some details of the evidence that was provided by the Norton MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa to support his fresh allegation that Sir David Adjaye was paid a separate amount to design the Bible Museum, which is a major feature as part of the entire National Cathedral project. And you have more on this when you read on myjoyonline.com. Let's listen.